So I've just done the back squats. I couldn't film it because I was trying to transfer some of the files from the camera to my iPad for some editing. But you all know what a back squat looks like. If you don't, Google it. And the rest of so my last session on legs, I actually tweaked something in the insertion of my hamstring on the right glute, that sort of area. So I took a bit of steady today. Oh my god, dripping. No, I don't want exercise, but so squats done, only using 50 kilos. The first 3 sets are just a nice steady set of 10. As you can see there, put a little note just saying starting to feel it in the hamstring. And this last one was like a rest pause, so do 10 reps, rest 15 seconds, 10, 15 seconds, and then another 10. Now going into the TO squats. That's Eugene TO. Check him out because he's really good at being a bit more creative, especially during lockdown. And then rest is RP there, and here that's just rest pause, so that's the ABC. Same again here. This one's a drop set for the walking lunges, so that's a little bit different. And we'll slowly get through the rest of the session. I'll see how much I can film. I've only got half battery, so I might have to try and wrangle this in some way. I know for damn sure this next set is going to kill me. So, it's the Eugene squats just by themselves, there's no superset here. And my little setup is as follows. Right. Do the squats against the fence. On the other side of it, there is my iPad. I don't know if you can actually see that. But that is running a timer because I'm going to have to go 15 seconds in between. Going to move into some banded RDLs now. So, best way to band RDL, or if you're doing bent over row or something, is simply lay the band across like so. This just goes over one side, your feet go on the bar. It's going to look something like this. And then obviously you hold on the inside of the band so that as you actually do the movement it's not going to slide in, it just touches the outside of your hand. Like so. That's probably my favourite way of setting up a band. I don't think this is going to work. So we've got a little bit of a different vibe on the channel today, because we're going to go meet some friendly competition. This is someone who I am competing against, but it's friendly because we've been friends ever since secondary school. We've done loads of things together, and we are in the same sort of friendship group. So we have done things like we've played rugby together, we've done a bit of MMA together. I'm pretty sure I've been biking with him a long time ago. Many a night out, quite interesting. And now it's come down to, well, ever since I think whatever year 10 is in UK, basically that, or grade 10 if you're America, ever since then we had an arm wrestle, and I think fitness has then come into it in many different aspects. We've trained together as well for many years, until I think it was mainly because of work things. He was working in Hull, whereas I was working in Beverley, and we both worked at gyms that we could train at, so training kind of fell apart in terms of training together because of that. And now because of lockdown we're training on our own, but I think if lockdown ends soon, which I'm praying it does end before the competition so that I can actually use a gym to finish this off, we might end up training together, because I think he's going to join at Ultraflex, but we'll see. So I'll do a little intro to the channel, and we'll take it from there. I thought I'd quickly add, to kind of like bring my day all together. So this morning I woke up and had mackerel for breakfast, which I've not had in a while, but I know I liked, and I saw it on offer, so I thought I'd just buy it. I understand some fish can be fatty fish, but I had not anticipated quite how bad the mackerel was. It's not bad for you, I just mean for the macros that I'm trying to hit at the moment, it is nigh on taken up all my fat for the day, and so the macros I'm going to have to hit now, everything has to stay below something like 11 grams of fat for the rest of the day, and we're at 10 o'clock in the morning, so I've really fucked it. But I'm the kind of person who doesn't like to waste food if I don't have to, so now I'm just going to have to suffer for the rest of the day. It's going to be a lot of potato and chicken and not much else. Today me and Jimmy are just getting some steps out in a little bit of a different location. Pass it over to Jimmy, and he can give you a little bit of background on my channel about his competition side of it.
Hi guys, my name is James Dennis. I'll link below. They'll say keep your friends close, but your enemies even closer. So now that they've relaxed the social distancing rules, it gives a little bit of a chance to measure each other up, see how each other's doing, give some encouragement, insults, whilst getting our cardio in. Both of us struggled so far. Cardio has never particularly been our strong point. Always stuck to events, rugby, running, biking, fighting, all easy ways to burn calories.
Can't just say it's fighting legally, not just randomly.
Walking, however, a little bit dull, so at least we can have a bit of a catch up. go through the steps, mapped out walk, and hopefully we can get into a bit of a routine together.
We've both got the same coach and we can kind of share experiences, because obviously the training and diet is tailored more towards each of us. We've both got very different setups in regards to our training. You've seen some of the stuff that I've been working with: barbells, bench, plates, dumbbells, bands and various things like that. Whereas Jimmy is working with, what have you got?
Bands, some light weights, barbell coming. Not really very much. Lots of space, not much equipment.
You got TRX though?
Got a TRX, yeah. So it's bringing out the inner engineer.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more different for Jimmy than it is for me. I've never been the strongest person, so using some lighter weights isn't too difficult for me. Whereas Jimmy moves some serious weight in the gym and then has to change into more body weight work.
Volume is killing me.
So
I miss deadlifting.
Yeah, what would you say you miss most, and what would you hate least about this in comparison?
Definitely miss the 3 big compounds. They were always the core foundation of my programming in the past. Squat, bench, deadlift obviously. What I hate the least at the minute, just time and attention. You know, the coach that we've got puts a lot of emphasis on making sure you're controlling the reps, moving the weight, not just shifting it, whereas in the past I think my main focus has always been how many plates I can get on the bar, get it from point A to point B as quick as I can, not really thinking about what muscles it's working. Whereas now it's taught me a lot in terms of how to get the most out of each muscle and to achieve basically target tension, target intensity.
I think I can definitely vouch for that. Doing like some of my sets, the exercises require 5 seconds per rep, which is just awful. Like, I'm all for slowing down eccentrics and stuff like that, but doing 1 second up for a lateral raise, holding it for a second and then 3 seconds down, not a fan of. I think the thing I miss most about training in a gym, it wouldn't be the compounds, because I didn't really favour those too much. It'd be more just certain machines that I really started to enjoy. Or actually, the use of cables or a pec deck or something. I miss that. In regards to diet, what would you say has changed most?
Diet wise, definitely willpower, discipline. I suppose everyone's very aware of the phrase consistency is key, but I even know a lot of people in the coaching community that really don't stick to it. You know, they can make the most of sticking pretty strictly to it, but then come the weekend, the takeaways come out, the beers come out, and from there on in, you know, you're never really going to achieve the levels of physique that me and Matt are trying to do now. Whereas coming to a Friday night, those cravings are still there. Still want a beer, still want a Chinese, but you know, you've got to stick to the egg whites, spinach.
I just really want a Domino's, I'm not gonna lie.
I think the thing that a lot of people miss, that don't really realise they're missing, so it's not there, is the sense of community you get from gyms. It's okay saying I miss the chest press, miss the bench press, but realistically, regardless of how much pre-workout I take, the biggest motivation is training with like-minded individuals. Definitely for me the biggest part. Realised this just over a year ago when changing gyms. I went solo, no friends where I was, and training slipped, didn't enjoy it as much, wasn't hitting the required numbers, and then just from the occasional day visit to where Matt trains over at Ultraflex, best sessions of the year without fail. And I can only put that down to the community, the social element. Obviously there's a lot of talk at the minute about mental health and how people are dealing with it in different ways, and for me, that's where the biggest struggle is.
Squeeze on through.
Not being able to train with your friends, not being able to spend time with those that you're trying to make proud. You're really doing it for yourself, and other than a little bit of contact that you have, and now that they've relaxed the rules a little bit more, you know, hopefully motivation will start to rise, people's spirits will pick up, and can start to focus on the long-term goals much more, really.
Yeah, I think the biggest, well, there's another downside in that no one's egging each other on in a gym. But no, they're not egging each other on like they would in a gym. So I'm training on my own, just in the back garden. There's no one else there. If I want to stop before I'm actually done, there's no one to see that. If I don't film it, there's literally no evidence that I didn't do it. So you really have to hold yourself to account. Whereas if I was training with Jimmy, I know if he's watching, there's definitely that little bit of pressure that if I'm not pushing a little bit harder than or towards failure, then I'm letting myself down, and I don't want him to like excel too far ahead.
It's the things that you realise, arguing who goes first, who's doing their set first. So you've always got that immediate target to work to, always trying to beat the person in front of you.
Or if someone's taking too long for the rest time, you snap them up on it. That used to be a massive thing back in the day. I was really good at fast rest times, and Jimmy was good at just pure numbers. So it worked well in the sense that he could maybe slow my session down, boost my numbers.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, if we want to do really fast-paced sessions, pump some blood in there, I try and cut down his rest times instead of going more strength-based. So it was a really good mix.
Yeah.
And hopefully this can kind of draw some of that energy back into our training with the help of Will. We both decided to go into the competition together, and we're doing the UK DFBA men's physique. I think this is more down to me, and Jimmy just kind of jumped in on it, that I wanted to do men's physique. Jimmy could definitely do bodybuilding, and I think at least for the first one I want to get men's physique done. It's the people that I follow that tend to do men's physique. I kind of went into this more because of people like Christian Guzman or Steve Cook. I also followed Matt Ogus and people like that did bodybuilding, but I think I'm more similarly matched to a Guzman physique instead of a Ogus physique. Dude's a freak. What are your thoughts on competing?
Definitely think views on competition, it summarises our competitive nature. As Matt said, egging each other on all these years. You know, why do you train? Why are you trying to strive towards a physique that realistically is going to take everything to achieve? And I think it's we've called each other on that one. Let's do it, you know, taking a year out of each other's lives to commit to something that we've always dreamed of. Regardless of result, it was always a case of getting on stage, bringing the best physique that we could at the time. You know, we've built a good foundation, and it'd be good to strip down the fat.
It'll definitely be interesting to see what's left of each other's physiques, because our training styles are so different. It'll be interesting to see how that has played a part in the final outcome. Big numbers versus small numbers, I guess.
Yeah, like so far, you know, we're probably 2-3 months down the line, and looking at how the two of us are both changing, training wise, body weight wise, muscle wise, physique wise. It's interesting.
Yeah, we'll talk about the difference in physique as well in terms of numbers. So we're actually the same height, arguably to most people, because everyone says Jimmy's taller than me. But we are, I say give or take maybe a centimetre, we're about the same.
So much longer legs.
Yeah, we've got different shaped bodies. Like I've got really stumpy legs and long torso, and Jimmy's got longer legs and shorter torso. So that could play a part. Well, it will play a part, but it'd be interesting to see which way. And then Jimmy weighs, what are you now?
I weigh 91 now, started off at 107 a long time ago. Well, it seems like a long time ago, back in November last year.
Like, Jimmy's now just below, Jimmy's in his diet weight now, just below what I started at in my bulking weight, so
yeah,
he's definitely going to bring a bigger physique to stage, whereas I'm currently, I think I weighed in at 87.4 this morning, which is down from 95, so it's definitely a slimmer physique. But then posing also comes into it, so it'll be interesting to see how our posing differs, and sometimes a smaller physique can pull off decent posing. And yeah, try and match up a little bit better. If I can definitely bring my waist in, then the proportions might look a little bit better, and then just try and angle that. But we've both been practicing a bit of posing here and there. I'm still undecided on how I want to shape my physique and how I want to style it. I'm practicing a few different positions and then focus on transition, trying to be a bit more confident with it. Neither of us ever stepped on stage, so it's going to be nerve-wracking for both of us. I don't know if we'll be doing more than one show around the same time. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I'm hoping that we get the bug for it from just looking at other YouTube videos and past shows. You can clearly see a great sense of community again, and you know, that sense of belonging that realistically I've been craving since our rugby days. Love playing as a team, love, you know, playing for the guy next to you, and I know that it's a individual sport, but realistically you can only be as good as you are on that day. But if you're doing it as a team, which that's how I'm seeing it at the minute with Matt and Will, it's that feeling's nice.
We're kind of team Will at the moment. He's got a few people coming down to the same event. There's me, Jimmy, his missus. Is there another guy or girl?
There was another guy, but he's backed out. He's dropped.
There might have been two. There was one that, like, this dude's an absolute freak and was going to do bodybuilding. I can't say his name because apparently he doesn't want to be said, but yeah, the dude walked into the gym with Will and was bigger than Will as a natural. Will is not. Will is open about that, by the way. I'm not just like dropping him in some shit there. But I think some people you can just tell by the physique that they're enhanced as opposed to being natural. In fact, that's not always the case, as we've come to realise, as there are some ridiculously good natural physiques out there. Which again is why I feel a bit more confident in going to a physique class where it's not about size, and that you can at least get some stage time, get a bit more comfortable with it, and if you do like it then you can progress and work harder towards a bodybuilding show. Would you ever do bodybuilding, or would you stick to physique?
I think once we see the results and get the feedback from physique from the judges, never say never, but again, I don't think anything like this would be a solo venture. It's just what motivates me, doing it as a team, doing it with other people. It's a topic of conversation we've had with Will lately, is forget about genetics, forget about your natural foundation, especially when it comes to your first show. Do what you want, you know, set yourself that goal. For me and Matt, we always looked at physique athletes and thought, wow, they look pretty sick. It'd be good to look like that. Whereas maybe not so much bodybuilding, not at the minute anyway. So
I mean, some of the pro level physiques now are just bodybuilders with freaky small waists.
yeah.
But I think, in fact, I'm going to put the picture up that I'm striving for now, or even the video of Christian Guzman in shape, and that is my goal. I think he's the same like height, age, weight and everything to us, and you shouldn't compare yourself to other physiques, but that's more in the sense that you're going to be a different shape. But if you can strive for the same condition as someone, I think all for it. Like, if it motivates you in the right way and it doesn't make you self-conscious and stuff, then why not? Who's your sort of like top idol or idols in the industry?
Well, similar to yourself, it would always be Christian Guzman. Always enjoyed his summer shredding series that he's done over the past God knows how many years. You know, that's always been a motivation. Even looking back now when I'm looking at posing videos or just some advice when willpower's a bit low, it was always him to look at. Natural or not has always been a big thing, as if it was a level playing field, you know what the competition is. I am the sort of person that likes to look at my competition in the eye, know that we're both level, and know full well that I'm going to beat you. You know, that's the mentality I think you've got to have, regardless about how close me and Matt are. I still like to look at him and just think I'm going to beat you, even though on the day it'll be what it'll be, but it's just the mentality that'll get us both to that point, really.
I can get really aggressive about that. Like, if I what am I trying to say?
Envisage.
Basically, if I can try and visualise someone else who could potentially compete against me doing another rep than me, and then looking back and smiling like, you fucked it, then that really ingrains in my mind, and I really try and push after that. Sometimes that mentality doesn't always happen as easily, and some days you just have to grind it out. But if I can think like that, in fact I've actually watched some guys prepping for the UK DFBA, muting their video just so I can see them, and then playing my own music over the top of it and just keeping an eye on what they're doing and making sure I'm training harder, because they put their own training videos up, and it's just my job to kind of make sure I keep the intensity higher than theirs. That's the goal anyway. Have you ever done that? Or am I just a little bit crazy?
No, I can understand that. I think again links back to the rugby days of our coach used to say, look, eye up your opposite man, point to him, yell at him, tell him, he's my man, I'm coming for you.
That's a fair point actually. I forgot
Same
about
thing.
that. Yeah, we angrily had to point our man out and shout we're going to kill him. And then go in.
And that's why we're a little bit tapped.
That's why we're friends.
Yep.
Yeah, Jimmy, we played on the same rugby team. I was one wing, he was the other, until he got a bit bigger and got moved to centre, I think.
Yep.
Whereas I stayed on the wing. I never really knew the rules. It was kind of try and tackle someone who runs at you, or if you get the ball, run at someone. That was it. I didn't have any gifted talents or anything like that for it. But it was all fun and games. Another thing that helps as well is me and him were always involved in sports days in different forms. So things like, what did you do?
200
yes.
metre sprint,
So
100 metre sprint.
I was never good enough off the line to do the 100 metre sprint, so I had to do 200, where I could try and keep up a top pace for longer and maybe overtake some people. I did 200, I did shot put, and I think tug of war. Whereas, what did you do?
200 metres, tug of war, relay, anything beyond that and I was gassed. was good at throwing things, but could never really tell where they were going to go.
Did I just do shot put again? Did you say shot put?
I think so. A couple of years, yeah.
I know I did it one year. I went to Costello.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like
regional sport event, wasn't it?
Yeah. So if you did well in your school, you went to Costello, which competed against other schools. That was quite fun. I was absolutely shocking when it came to the shot put there. There were some dudes at like national level who were throwing a good 3 times the distance as most other people. But if anyone's seen Napoleon Dynamite, the kid who won turned up looking like that. Like all these little sweatbands and curly hair, and so no one really thought anything of it until he threw. And he threw with different form and technique to everyone else, but it worked. And then me and you had a little 200-metre sprint race.
Still upsets me to this day. Devastated.
So we've clashed heads in a few different sports. 200. There was the famous arm wrestle.
Famous arm wrestle of year 7.
That definitely kicks everything off. I don't think we really spoke before that, but then
No,
afterwards.
there was the big guy in the other form. He thinks he's stronger than you. Give him an arm wrestle.
Yeah, everyone just started arm wrestling everyone else, and then it came to the point where the top 2 or 3 would just wander into the other class and decide, right, top 2 or 3 in this one, arm wrestle. And we just kind of locked up for a little bit.
Yeah, until we got told off, I think.
And then from there, whenever it was sport, was it like PE, physical education or whatever, we would just sack off football or things that we didn't actually want to play and decide to mess around in the gym. But back then we didn't actually know anything. I remember vividly walking in and just trying out max weight on the leg press straight off the bat without any warm up.
Yeah.
We didn't want to waste time because we only had, it was a full hour to get changed, work out, and then get back changed before you had to leave. So a warm up just seemed stupid.
Nah, waste of time. And that's why we're as injured as we are now.
Yeah, we learned the hard way instead of the educated way.
Yeah.
No one actually showed us anything. Basically, we'll just give a quick run through on why we're doing a YouTube channel in the first place. I've done mine mainly because I do so much, well, have done so much Instagram that it makes sense to kind of give a bit more in-depth review into this process of the competition. I actually wanted to get like a week by week vlog of how my training's going. If things start to go to shit, then I can see it and refer back to it the next time I think about I want to compete. I can literally see my own process instead of seeing someone else's. Because everyone says towards the end of prep you feel like death. And if I can capture that myself, then I think that's actually kind of interesting. But yeah, it's a bit of a different twist in how I expected it, because I didn't expect COVID or anything to throw a spanner in the works, but it has. So that's given a bit more of a different feel to it, for sure. But then it's also a bit more interesting for the next time, because it shouldn't ever be as hard as it is now if we do it again.
Yeah.
As long as gyms stay open. I think in terms of YouTube, it is actually a skill. I mean, you can't just get someone to jump into a car and drive, or they might know how to push the accelerator or drop the clutch or something, but it's not going to be driving, it's not going to be smooth. And I think the same is with YouTube. Someone might be able to film a video and not necessarily put it together, and it takes a few goes, you're not going to get it straight away. And I think the Instagram's helped me a little bit with that. And I've done a few videos sporadically. It's not been very regimented. It's not been on point all the time. So we'll see how this goes. Try and get a motivation map Monday upload type thing going, and we'll just track progress from there. But yeah,
like and subscribe.
stay tuned for the next walk.